So this year we received 7,500 applications from over 160 countries, which is a lot, but great, but it's a lot. So without the help of our selection committee, this wouldn't have been possible. So we have over 180 members in this selection committee who helped us read and properly rate those applications. In the selection committee, we're again, of course, always helping Forum Alpbach network, previous seminar chairs, and also partners from the IFA. So thank you all to you. And then, of course, I would also like to mention our jury, consisting of Klaus Peuer, Almina Besic, Mubashara Akhtar, and Martin Kainz, who then finalized the selection, looking at the criteria that we have the most diverse group here. Yes. So I think you're very much familiar of what is ahead of you in this next 2 weeks. So we will start, or we already started yesterday with the Auregio Days. Today is the start of the Alpbach Seminars, in which scholarship holders and people from the FAN get to attend 2 seminars. And those go until the 24th. And then we start with our conference program, the European World Days and the Austrian Europe Days. So during these, we have our special formats, I would say. So I hope you all brought hiking boots and just excitement, because we have very interesting speakers with which you can talk to in an intimate level, for example, during a chat or at work. Yes, and we conclude the program with the Austrian Europe Days on the 30th. So this was a little bit of an overview. Of course, you've got all the information on the app and on our website, so check that out. And yes, so this was a little bit of an introductory round from my side, but we would like to give it to all of you. So we thought of 3 little questions and ask you to stand up if you agree with those statements, if you would say yes. So as you know, we have the morning sports offer that starts at 7. So I think it's very good to ask who of you in the room is an early bird. Please stand up.
All right, more people than we thought, actually. Thank you. And now let's move on to the second question. I know you probably already met a good amount of people during the forum, but you're going to meet even more. So who has ever forgotten the name of someone they just met?
I wish you great fun. So, and on the third questions, we kind of took it from experience a little bit, because as I said, we got 7,500 applications this year, and there were amazing applications from your side. That's why you're here, and we really appreciate that. But we still have the question, who had a little help from AI with their application? Let's see the honesty here. Give it up for the honest persons. So, of course, we're going to have the most amazing program the next 2 weeks, but I think it's also very necessary to think, why do we do that? Why does the IFA exist? What is our purpose? And what is the moment of truth, actually? So, Andreas, I hope that you can give us an answer to that.
Cool. Can you hear me? Hello. I hope you're happy to be here. Who are the newcomers? Please get up. All the newcomers. Please, 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 please. That's more than 300. Oh, shit. You're all, oh, great, great. Wonderful, wonderful. So, thank you. I'm sure you're going to have lots of fun. But you also should be extremely proud to be here because you've been selected out of 7,500. So being 323, if I calculate correctly, you are top 4.5%. So it's all A+. Congratulations. But I have some really, really bad news for you. You ain't here to have fun. You're here to work. We want to see results. So it's up to you to make fun out of the work that you do. But there have been many, many people who put in a lot of effort to produce this event. Been many, many people who had to raise a lot of money to get you all over here. And we all want to see results. And in order to tell you what kind of results we would like to see, I'd like to explain to you, to all the newcomers and those who didn't listen last year, that what Alpbach is actually, what it has been made for. Now, this is the 80th Alpbach, so we're 79 years old. We were founded in 1945, right at the end of the World War II. Germany had already surrendered, and the Japanese were just about to surrender. And Alpbach was founded by a group of freedom fighters and a group of scientists who got together because they were absolutely convinced that after 30 years, the worst period this world has ever seen, of hate, of destruction, of murder, of war, there would be the danger that a young generation that has seen for 30 years nothing but hate, destruction, war, and murder, that they would have lost the values that you need to live in a peaceful community. They said, we need to do something to engage this generation in what is necessary to live in a peaceful, prosperous world. This was not an intent to teach them something, and they found it actually, Alpbach was called the Austrian College. It was a college, so it was where teachers learn from the students and students learn from the teacher. It's an engagement that you have to have. You need to seek to talk to others in order to really be able to fill the purpose that we want to achieve with Alpbach. Now, you've not only been selected because you're just simply great, you've also been selected according to a lot of diversity criteria. That's why we have 60 nations, we have all genders, and we have a lot of political and ideological beliefs here. So we are very, very hopeful that we could read enough in the resumes that you send us that we could detect who is totally climate, who is totally green, who is totally socialist, who is totally liberal, who is totally conservative. And we would like you to mix with each other and to exchange views. Because if we want to avoid that you are a generation, again, that will experience what the generation in 1945 had experienced, you need to work on unity. And you can only have prosperity, unity, and peace if we work on building a community that is based on democracy, on rule of law, and on human rights. And that's the only precondition. And if we, who hopefully all believe in those three principles, are able to exchange our views in order to build a world that is based on these principles, irrespective of what our ideology is, only then will we be able to move into a world without destruction and without hate. And we see a lot of that coming in Europe. We see a lot of that coming in other parts of the world. And we want to avoid that it gets worse. We want to avoid that we move into a world where the risks that some of you and maybe all of you already can feel become imminent. You have to work on it. And you have to work on it by deliberately engaging with people here that have different views than you, trying to understand them, trying to make them understand your views, and trying the other way around. That is absolutely key. The liberal, democratic, peaceful, rule-abiding, and human rights-abiding population of this world can only survive if we bridge the gap between ideological beliefs. If we fight with each other, because we say, oh, this guy is too left, or this guy is too conservative, or so, we have no chance on beating the motherfuckers who want to destroy our world. It's a tough job. It's a tough job, and we got to stick together. And it's incredibly joyful to succeed on that front. We are the stronger ones here, irrespective of what our ideological beliefs are, because all of you who are coming over here, you have a purpose, otherwise you wouldn't come. You're coming here because you want to experience the joy of getting engaged with people who think differently and have the willingness, although you don't agree, you accept it. And you say, let's work together and let's build a wonderful world together. It's a great thing. Sometimes you should forget that and simply have drinks. That's part of it too. So enjoy it.
Thank you so much, Andreas. And now next on stage, we have two people who hold the forum very dear to their heart and play a crucial role in making all of this happen. Let's welcome on stage Secretary General Ferry Thierry and Chair of the Forum Alpbach Network, Jenny Seller. Now, Ferry, you have been to the forum a countless number of times. What impact did the forum have on you, and what do you hope scholarship holders will take away?
Well, thank you for the question, but first I have to use this opportunity to say a big thank you, not just to Nadine and Melissa, who you see on stage, but also to Bibi Maya and all the others in the big organizational team of the EFA to make this evening happen and also the next 2 weeks. Thank you very much. To answer your question, yes, it was in 1998, so that's about 200 years ago. I was scholarship holder, so I was one of you. I was sitting there, curious, excited. Now I'm on stage, I'm still excited and curious as well, I hope so. But it had a massive impact on me and on my life, because I think it's now the 23rd time I came back to Alpbach. Apparently I did like it. And it had a massive impact on me and on my life because I met so many nice people. I met so many inspiring, impressive people. And I learned so much. And the most important thing, I built here the major part of my network, which on the basis of this network, I became politically active. And I started so many political initiatives for Europe, for a better democracy, and for things we have to fight today more than ever. And so that's why I'm so convinced that the European Forum Alpbach is so important. And so the impact I had, it's the thing I wish all of you.
Thank you, Ferry. And I'm going to introduce some opportunities later on how you could possibly step into Ferry's footsteps. But okay. Now, Jenny, as the chair of the Forum Alpbach Network Board, you are, of course, very passionate about the forum. What do you think makes the forum unique?
That's a very good question. First of all, I think Alpbach is not just a conference, and Alpbach is also not just a village. Alpbach is a home away from home. Of course, what makes it unique is a great program. Like, where else do you find hikes and seminars and workshops and art performances, concerts, fireside chats, parties, sports tournaments, and much, much more in terms of event formats? But where do you also find an event that covers such a broad variety of topics and ideas? And an event where the program is also actively co-shaped by the youth, thanks to the close cooperation we have. So, if you really ask what makes the forum unique, I would like to ask all of you to have a look around, to your right and to your left, in front of you and behind you. What makes the forum unique is this community. It's people from all different backgrounds, from different disciplines, from different places, from different age groups. Here in Alpbach, you meet the most extraordinary people in the most ordinary places. You meet especially young people who are incredibly driven and dedicated and sometimes disillusioned, it also has to be said. They want to make a change and they want to make a difference and they want to have an impact that's not just here at the forum, but beyond the forum. And they're eager to learn and challenge and connect. And as Andreas already said, this is what the key is here. And what also is so special about Alpbach is that the differences we have create connections. And even if we have different perspectives, we still have a place in each other's hearts and still can have, well, drinks later on, as Andreas also said. So in the next 2 weeks, as you become a part of this wonderful community and also the Forum Alpbach network, be ready. Be ready for being challenged, for new projects for the future. Be ready for discovering new passions and new ideas. Be ready for meeting people who might become your best friends. And be ready for a truly life-changing experience. And I know this sounds like a lot of empty words, but I'm speaking from my own personal experience. It truly is. I'm speaking from the heart as a former scholarship holder as well. So expect the unexpected, and welcome to Alpbach.
Thank you. Ferry. Thank you. So, Ferry Thierry and Jennifer Seller. Now, when thinking about the moment of truth, many might think about the upcoming elections and the polarized world we are currently living in. As a result, many might also think about depolarization. And here to give us some input is Alison Goldsworthy.
Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me to speak today. I was going to begin by talking to you all a little bit about the state that the world is in, and that it's slightly depressing, that democracy is backsliding, there's fewer people living in democracies than there were before, that of course climate change is a huge issue, and that this wasn't how things were 20 years ago. And in particular, I was going to mention that for young people, there is a decreasing trust in democratic institutions. And that really matters because those democratic institutions are critical to trying to help keep society functioning as it is for a liberal, free, fair elections and for a good, healthy democracy. But quite a few of the other speakers have talked about that. So instead, I'm going to move on to a few tips that I have for you about how to try and work together in what might be quite a challenging and quite a hard-working week. I've got to say, though, I think I could be fun as well. I am not in the school of thought that thinks that work cannot be fun. So those of you who are in my track, hold on for a ride. So my first tip for you is one of the founding sort of principles of psychology, is that how people behave is a function of how you're wired and the environment that you're in. It's really, really hard to change how you're wired and what's going on there. It can happen, but it's really tricky. It's much easier to change the environment that you're in. And really great news here is that you're in an environment that can encourage fresh, original, challenging thinking. So if you find yourself in a tricky spot, get out of the environment that you are in and go somewhere else and see how that can help your brain work in a different way. That's my first tip for you. My second tip, before I get onto it, I just wonder if everybody could put their hands up. Oh, you're quite good at following instructions. I like this. Good start. No, you can leave them up. I didn't say you could put them down. Anyone in this room who likes losing an argument, could you put your hand down? Oh, some people did put their hands down. That's great. Most of you, however, still have your hands up. You're sort of normally in the multitude like that. And the reason I come back to that in a second is my second tip is to find people who think differently to you. You can now put your hands down, I promise. And to seek out people who think differently. And that doesn't mean, when people talk about difference, they often mean how people look or some visual cues that you can pick up, maybe where they're from. As we've heard, they've really carefully curated this audience to include people who think differently. And I would encourage you to think of diversity in that way, with people who have different worldviews and different outlooks to you. But when you go into those conversations, think about how few people just admitted that they liked losing an argument. So try not to frame things in a win-lose way. Try and instead to understand the assumptions that you are basing your own opinions on, and the assumptions that they might be basing their opinion on as well. And in that context, I encourage you to ask the question, how did you come to that position? Not why did you become to that position? Because it makes it much easier for your brain to understand what's going on. The third tip that I would give you is to try and be as cognitively flexible as you can, or open-minded if you want to not use sort of mumbo-jumbo speak. A confession here. I used to be a political activist in the UK, as you might be able to tell. I am British. Political activists like me are the people who find this the hardest. They find it really hard to change their mind or to be open to the idea that maybe they're wrong, or maybe other people just had different experiences to what they did. And there's quite a lot of work and research that's growing now to back that up. So if you're somebody that holds an opinion strongly, and you're here, so the odds you might hold some opinions quite strongly, this is going to be really tricky for you. And that's not to say you have to change that opinion that you have. Sometimes we hold those opinions for very good reason with what's going on, but others may have equally good reasons for why they hold a different view. And to try and be open to what those different opinions can be is really tremendously important. So ask yourself this question, which is, when did you last change your mind and why? And what was going on in the environment that happened? What helped lead you up to that moment? Because it's very rarely one particular thing that changes your mind. It's a chip of different things going on. And that can be so important to then trying to work across divides to together meet the challenges that we've got in front of us, which are huge and I am afraid growing. So that's my 3 tips for you for this week in terms of thinking about polarization and depolarization. The first is if you're struggling, get into a different environment. The second is that seek out people who feel differently to you, but try not to frame it as a win-lose thing. And the third one is to try and be as cognitively flexible and open-minded as you possibly can be. That will really help you have a great seminar You can, of course, also have fun on the way. You don't have to have drinks, but if people want to, then they can. I will be available with the non-alcoholic crowd. And I am really looking forward to working with many of you over the next week. Thank you very much.
So we heard a lot about diversity, people coming from different countries with difficult situations maybe. They have studied different things. So we are a very diverse group, which makes it even more important to be respectful to each other and to understand each other. This is also one of the points why we introduced the Code of Conduct. So I'm just going to read that because it's very important. All participants and staff must comply with the Code of Conduct. In the best case, to get your ticket, you already have applied to the, confirmed the Code of Conduct. We look out for each other and take joint responsibility for maintaining a respectful and safe community. We do respect boundaries and accept a no without any objection. If there is a Code of Conduct violation, the Ombuds team must be informed. So this also brings me to my next point, namely the Ombuds team. So we have partners here at the EFA that help you to make this all a safe environment. Of course, it's also your role to do that, but we have partners who help us with that. In this case, and that's why I would like to take on stage or bring up on stage Nick and Sophie from the Ombuds team, Renate, and Maria from the Awareness Initiative. So, Sophie, Nick, what do you do? When can people approach you? Just tell us a little bit about the Ombuds team and why it is here at the EFA.
Yes, so first of all, maybe a small introduction. So Sophie, you've already read my name. I am a lawyer and I specialized in anti-discrimination law and violence protection and the Me Too movement. Yes, and also codes of conduct in a broader sense.
I'd also like to introduce myself. My name is Nick Jacobs. I'm also part of the Ombuds team, and this is my second EFA. As a psychotherapist, I'm currently working in an outpatient clinic specializing on group therapy and crisis intervention. And before I worked as a freelancer and a program designer for a club where I had a key role in creating and developing awareness teams and fostering discrimination-free spaces.
Yeah, and when it comes to what do we do as an Ombuds team, you've all probably read the Code of Conduct, not only now on the screen, but because you tick the box. If not, I can highly recommend to read it. It's important to stay informed also about your rights, under quotations. So the Code of Conduct not only codifies the rules of social interaction you just read, but also principles of the European Forum Alpbach and consequences in case of a breach of the Code of Conduct. And this is where also we jump in. The Ombuds team got installed to support persons affected if they experienced a breach of the Code of Conduct, any form of discrimination, harassment or violence. And we also supervise the compliance with the Code of Conduct and just spread the word and create awareness.
As part of the Ombuds team, Sophie and I are a neutral and independent resource dedicated to supporting you. If you ever feel uncomfortable or need assistance, we are here for you. You can reach out, you can contact us via phone, email, and signal. Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I think everybody got a good idea. I take the clapping that they have a good idea of what the Ombuds team is. So we want to have the same thing with the awareness initiative. Maria, tell us about the awareness initiative and also maybe focus on how it differs to the Ombuds team, because those questions might come up. So, yeah.
Of course. Yes, so as we've heard before, the European Forum Alpbach brings together people with various backgrounds and with a big variety of opinions. And this diversity of opinions is an essential part of the forum. The Code of Conduct, as we've heard, supports us in creating an open atmosphere to discuss these topics. And as you mentioned before, it says that we are respectful towards each other and that we look out for each other. So even though we have all this set in place, with this range of diversity, there always can be situations where somebody might feel uncomfortable, where some boundaries might be overstepped, or where we feel overwhelmed. And for this, the awareness initiative comes into play. So maybe I will start and ask all of the people who are part of the awareness initiative to just stand up for a few moments and for you to look around. The awareness initiative consists of former scholarship holders. So these are people who have been a scholarship holder in the last year or before a few years and who are now coming back to the forum. They know the experience and they have been basically in your shoes a while back. We are, unlike the Ombuds team, not necessarily professionals in this regard, but we know the forum, we know the Code of Conduct, and we did some trainings to deal better with people approaching us and being there for you whenever you need it. You can recognize us by the button, which you can see on the slide, Awareness Initiative. And at some events, you can also recognize us with a pink vest, for example, at the party tonight. So basically see us as your aware friend at the European Forum Alpbach. See us as a safe space to share, a person to confide in, and somebody to support you in case it is needed. Just approach us whenever you see somebody with this button, if you feel uncomfortable, if you feel the need to speak, or if you want to share something. So with that, I wish you very fruitful discussions and an insightful time here in Alpbach.
For my next question, I actually have to give a little bit of context. So Renate lives in Alpbach. Renate is an Alpbach local. So your question would be, we are so happy, so the EF is very happy that Alpbach has been hosting us for 80 years. So tell us, what are your wishes from us all, that we are good participants, good guests? So also from your experience, just give us a little bit of an input.
Well, thank you. Well, what I wish for first thing is harmony. Harmony between the students and all the locals. Well, first of all the scholarship holders, welcome to this beautiful village. My name is Renate Kandlin. I work for the council as a climate mobility and transport officer. I am also in charge of the recycling center, and I'm responsible for all the beautiful flowers in the village center. Well, I was born and raised here, but in the 1980s, traveling was my passion. I was traveling without Google or Instagram. I've seen a lot of stunning places in the world, but I came back here. I came back here to where my roots are, because I'm very proud of this small, special village and what the locals make of their home. I've experienced European Forum many, many years. I have met a lot of international, interesting people. A little side note, My mother was the main waitress for the Nobel Prize-winning physicist Erwin Schrödinger, who is buried in our cemetery. We love to share this beautiful village with you, but you all have to remember you are guests. You are our guests for 2 weeks. We, that's 2,600 Alpbachers, live here 365 days, 52 weeks a year. So please respect the village and the people of Alpbach. Respect the facility employees who go to work as early as 3 a.m. for you to find the conference rooms clean and tidy. Respect the community workers who keep this village in its glamour, but not only these 2 weeks, I have to say. Respect all the people who have to get up early to go to work. So please talk quietly walking through the village or waiting for the bus after a good night out. Respect your landlords, landladies, and their employees as they offer you their best services. Unfortunately, we do not have a pedestrian area in the village, so please respect everyone driving or cycling through the village. Please don't walk in the middle of the street. And most important, greeting the locals doesn't hurt and usually puts a smile on their faces. But for now, I would like to wish you a wonderful, awesome time in our beautiful village. I'm sure you will make a lot of good memories. And thank you very much for listening and sharing my moment of truth.
Let me just add one word to what Renate just said. She was very, very polite. There are not many locals here who speak English, and very few, if any, who speak English as well as she does. So respect the fact that they are intimidated by the mass that is here. They've gotten used to it, but she said, greet, and you might sometimes get a smile. I just want to add something to that. You have sometimes to greet very, very often to get back a smile. Make it an attempt, and don't get angry if an 80-year-old Alpbachian looks away or is grumpy or doesn't say anything. Just try. Try as much as you can. If you manage to have the population here say, well, this has been the best Alpbach I've ever had, you make all of us extremely happy. It's an effort, and just try as often and as much as you can, and don't get rebuffed if you don't get an answer. You have 2 weeks' time, and at the end, you will have all smiling faces. Thank you.
Okay, trying to find a transition here. But I think where we are all comfortable is arts, hopefully. Yes, so there will be another topic on arts later, but I would like to welcome Florian and Vida from the Music and Arts University of Vienna, of the city of Vienna, on stage to give us a first glimpse. Yeah, and this is an improvisational piece, so yeah, I'm really excited. before starting with some practical tips on your way around Alpbach, we start right off because I think that's the most asked question actually, is transportation. So if you scan those 2 QR codes, on the first one you will find the bus timetable, and you will find also information on the free shuttle taxis and shared taxis. So if your accommodation is not near to a bus stop, you can call the free shuttle taxis and they will bring you to this bus stop. Not to your end location, but to the bus stop. And then, and this is the most reliable thing I would say, is that you download Scotty. This is the second app. Everything ÖBB and EFA did together is integrated in that app. So it's really up to date, and I would really urge you for information to use the ÖBB Scotty app, because we all know bus timetables can sometimes be overwhelming. Food. Yes, as you might already know, today Spar was closed. But the Spar supermarket will be open daily onwards. So also next Sunday, the Spar supermarket will be open. Next to that, we have our own vegetarian sausage stand called Wurst at the Schulhäusl, and it's open from the 22nd of August until the 29th, from 2 p.m. From 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. and from 6 p.m. to approximately 2 a.m., depending probably on how motivated you are to go there and how crowded it will be. And then a colleague of mine told me that you find this information all on the app. So you keep an eye on the Alpbach Village info point in your app. This will also, if something new comes up, you will find all the information there. Health and safety, of course, important. We just talked about the ombuds team. So today it rained. It's not very nice weather. So if you're feeling sick because of that, you can call Bruno Blattsacher, who is a doctor here in Alpbach, 10 minutes away from here, so really near. And in really urgent cases, of course, also with when he is not open, call please 144. If you need any assistance, please contact your club, the FNC, or the EFA team, and of course, scholarships@alpbach.org. I think most of you know this email address, so if you have any questions, I would ask you to send them to us, and we will answer them as soon as possible. Yes, now we'll give over to Nadine.
Thank you, Melissa. I will now go on to tell you the most important information that you need to know about the seminars. So on the board, you can see that we have 26 seminars in total. 13 are happening in the mornings and 13 in the afternoons. And in the mornings, we only have scientific seminars, we call them, and in the afternoon, we only have skill and art seminars. You probably all noticed by the allocation of your seminars. And concerning the timing, I wanted to show you again. So the morning seminars start at 9 a.m. They last until 12:30 p.m. And the afternoon seminars last from 3 to 6. And yeah, I just want to encourage you again to participate actively in discussions and yeah, make the most of your seminars. Now the not so easy part, I wanted to show you some principles that I want you to take note of. The first one is, please participate in the seminar you were allocated to. You all gave us your preferences and we allocated you based on your preferences. So please also be respectful with the seminar chairs. They're all experts in their field, so you can learn a lot from them. But if you have any questions or concerns regarding allocations, please contact me or Clemens, my colleague. I think most of you have been in touch with him as well. He's waving up there. You may miss one session per seminar. This means that you can miss one session of your morning seminar and one session of your afternoon seminar. And for you to receive the certificate, you need to attend 4 sessions, which makes up 80% attendance. Now that we got that out of the way, I wanted to introduce to you 2 people who are indispensable when it comes to the content of the seminars, which are Michaela Fritz and Howard Williamson. Chair, thank you.
Thank you, Nadine. And actually, it's up to me to say a few thank you, not only to Nadine and the team. So first of all, to all the members of the Scientific Advisory Board, I think we came up, in my view, together with the EFA team, with an outstanding seminar program. And I would also especially thank all the seminar chairs. Thank you for your time and enthusiasm to plan, prepare, and now deliver exciting seminars. And last but not least, I also would like to really thank the seminar assistants. It's thanks to them that you will all have a very smooth experience. And now from the Scientific Advisory Board, I do have 3 requests to our scholarship holders. And the first one is to listen. Really listen with an open heart. And there's a small advice. This exercise of listening is really easier if you get at least some hours of sleep the night before. Second one, really embrace the unexpected and the unknown. It might be the person next to you, but it might also be the content of your seminar. And last but not least, challenge yourself. Challenge yourself, because we don't want you to leave Alpbach with just a new network, just new knowledge, new tools, but really with a passion to create and act and make this Europe a better place, this world a better place. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Michaela, my chair of the Scientific Advisory Board. I'm only going to say one thing on this occasion, which is about food for thought. Now, we established Food for Thought in 2018 in order to provide the opportunity and the space for anybody, and I mean anybody, somebody in the village, scholarship holders, seminar assistants, seminar chairs, hosts, to have an hour for a discussion about anything that interested them. So we've had Austrian folk dance, we've had obviously a lot of stuff about AI, about the rewilding of wolves in Europe, and all sorts of weird and wonderful topics. But you have to step forward pretty fast to get a slot, because we've only got about 10 rooms that we can make available between 1:30 and 2:30 on tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We already have a couple of offers tomorrow, so they will be communicated to all of you tomorrow morning, and we add the location, the name of the person presenting, the topic that they want to cover, and the room that it will take place in. But please come forward fast to get... Last year we started with 4 on the first day, 6 on the second day, 10 on the third day, and then 13 on the fourth day. I didn't have enough rooms to accommodate. Some people... We had good weather, so we did some stuff outside. But please, anything that you may be interested in sharing with other people who may come along, you may only get 2 or 3 people, you may get 40 people. We can't predict that, so you have to be ready for whoever comes. But please come and see me. I'll be hanging around. That's what I always do here. I'll just be hanging around. Find me, say what you want to do, and I'll make sure that is communicated to everybody who needs to hear it. Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you, Howard and Michaela, and thank you for your continuous support in the seminars. Next up, I wanted to introduce to you 3 opportunities that you'll have during the forum. The first of which is the Alpbach Seminar book. The IFA is actually piloting a book format of personal stories from scholarship holders this year. So I encourage you, if you want to write a chapter reflecting on your personal moment of truth, the impact of technology on our life, or how we can build a bold Europe in a sound world. I encourage you to participate in the info session. There will be an info session in this room tomorrow at 1:30, or you can also contact the editor, Martin Gieswein. You can see his picture over there, and he's also in the room right now. Thank you for coming, Martin. The next project that I wanted to introduce to you is Alpbach Ideas. And this is a year-long project for aspiring change makers that want to make a change in the world and want to work towards a more democratic and a more sustainable Europe. And if you're interested in this, you can come to the kickoff session on the 24th of August at 10 a.m. The winning teams from last year will be there as well. They'll talk about their experiences from last year, and you'll get to know more about how the process works. And yeah, this will also be an opportunity for you if you want to participate. You might get to visit the IFA 25 next year as well and be invited to Vienna to a boot camp. So I think that's a very cool opportunity. Now, talking about change makers, this is the perfect opportunity to mention this again. I think I have to mention here that this is only for first-time scholarship holders. So first-time scholarship holders received an email in a couple of days ago, I think. And this is a reminder to please fill out the Changemaker Index assessment. You can register by clicking Take Me to the Assessment and enter the code. And yeah, you will identify your change-making strengths and areas of weakness. Now, we talked a lot about change makers and creative ideas for Europe. And of course, there are also ideas about utopias. And this brings me to the next program point, which is this year's Arts and Culture program. And now I want to welcome on stage the Arts and Culture Management, Theodora Danek.
Hi, I'm Theodora. I'm the Arts and Culture Management. I think it's, oh, no worries. I think it's about time we have some audience participation again. Can I get some raised hands for who has or who will vote this year? Okay, quite a few. Cool. I hope you'll be pleased to hear that you get to vote again this year at the IFA, because we're running election campaigns. You might have already seen them in the village. If you've seen something really neon green or something really gold that promises you a bright future, that was sort of me. It wasn't really me, but it was sort of me. I'm to blame. And what you're voting for here, though, is not just 4 more years, but what you're voting for here is 50 or 100 years from now. We're asking you, what do you want the future to look like? Or at least that's what we asked ourselves. I always say it was a very depressing autumn of 2023, and we thought we need to think of a bright future. We need to broaden what we believe is possible. And that's how we landed on utopias, and that's how we landed on election campaigns. We asked 2 teams of designers and scientists, researchers, and actually quite a few musicians to come up with 2 election campaigns and 2 utopias. And those utopias, as I said, are not situated right here, right now, and they're definitely positive visions of the future. Sorry, I didn't really figure out the paper to microphone interaction, as you can see. Better luck next time. So as I said, you have probably seen some posters. You really can't miss them. And if there's any location where you think there should be a poster, please come and talk to me, because I've been in campaign mode and I'll be in campaign mode for the next 2 weeks. I'll happily put up more posters. But I'm briefly going to tell you something about what the campaigns are about. Team Gold, SPA, the Super Progressive Alliance. SPA is asking you to imagine techno-utopia. Imagine a future where we hand over our jobs and our autonomy to the machine. We no longer have to work because AI does it for us. All we have to do is relax. We can finally spend all day at the spa. That's number one. Possibly sounds good. Number two, neon green, rise and rule. They are asking us to imagine eco-socialism. Imagine a future where the hierarchy between humans and nature has finally dissolved. Every living being has the same rights. Humans take inspiration from the sea anemone, the mangrove, the ant. We team up, we swarm, we rise up with the Z. They ask all living beings to participate in the election. And that's why the election campaign is legible also to animals and maybe not just legible to us. So, how can you participate? Because every election depends on the voter. You can vote. You have to vote. Please vote. Please clap. Please vote. You can find more. You can find out more information by talking to me, but if all of you come and talk to me at the same time, I'll be really overwhelmed. So you can also find out more information on the app, on the website, or you can visit us at our election headquarters, because we have election headquarters. You really can't miss it because there's two giant neon green and gold banners hanging from the balcony in the village center. That's where the election headquarters is. That's where the ballot box is, and that's where the campaign teams will be from next week, because the campaign teams will come here, they will campaign. They want you to join the campaign team. They will woo you with rallies and with jingles and with election goodies. You can resist that or not. And it'll all come to a brilliant finale on election night on the 27th of August. Join us at our election party where we'll count the votes, we'll announce the winner, and then I think we'll have some drinks or not. We'll see. But you might be thinking, okay, what is this? Is this just like a joke? Why are we doing this? Are we allowed to have fun? I mean, as you can see, I'm having some fun, loud or not. But if you allow me some pathos, we're doing this because we think it's really important to press pause on reality, at least for a little while, because if you're like as depressed as I am, then you need to pause reality to imagine a better future, a brighter future. And it's really important to do that, because if everyone is just depressed and sits at home, then nothing gets accomplished. I think that's why you're all here, because you want to change something. So by pressing pause and by voting for the ants or the robots, we do exactly that. Okay, that's not the election campaign isn't the only thing that the Arts and Culture Management is doing. We're also running brilliant workshops. We're putting on concerts. We're putting on films. We're working together with the Brilliant Fancy, who are also putting on a lot of great programs, including one of my favorite films ever, which was a really pleasant surprise. And I hope you join us and I hope to see you there to step out of your comfort zone. Maybe you want to dance with a climate psychologist. Maybe you want to imagine you're an insect. That's all things that we're doing the week after this one. And for now, I will leave the stage because we have some election ads which have never been screened to a wide audience before. So Team SPA and Team Rise and Rule want to woo you with ads as well. I'm going to leave the stage to the ants, the mangrove, the sea anemone, and the robots, and I hope to see you in the election headquarters. Bye.
They take your jobs. Let's say thank you. Vote for SPA. Post-work. High life.
Thank you to Theodora and the campaign teams that presented us those amazing videos. We're going over to the Forum Alpbach network. So you have already met Jenny, the chair of the FAN B, but there are many, many, many more. And we would like them now to get on stage, especially FAN B for the first time now. To let them introduce themselves.
Whoa, this has been a lot of stuff, a lot of things to remember, a lot of things to do, and many people to meet, Claudia.
Yeah, you're completely right, Philip. But I think that everyone knows by now that there are drinks tonight, right? And so before we go there, this is really the last part of the ceremony. And so before we let you mingle and get to know all these amazing people in the room, we still want to introduce you to two teams and the Forum Alpbach network.
All right, Forum Alpbach network, I think we've heard this before, FAN. Claudia, what does that stand for?
It stands for Forum Alpbach Network. But it means a youth organization under the European Forum Alpbach. And this organization, this network, gathers more than 3 absolutely extraordinary teams in over 25 countries. And that's across Europe, but also beyond. And so, Philip, wait, what does the forum do? The Forum Alpbach Network.
Thanks. Yeah, so the Forum Alpbach network you will definitely encounter during the forum at several amazing events that they're organizing. Also actually in some of the projects like the awareness initiative that Maria has already presented. But even as young speakers at some of the panels that you will see, not during the seminar week, but the week after, represented at some of the stages.
And when the forum ends, is it over?
No, well, okay. So the Forum Alpbach network actually definitely doesn't stop at the end of the forum. It maybe even starts then, I'd say. Because when you leave the forum, you've met so many amazing people and you kind of want to stay in touch. And you could also say that the network is a bit of an alumni network. And we have all these more than 30 teams that you've mentioned, amazing teams of volunteers that are organizing events throughout Europe and beyond throughout the year. Those are discussion events, get-togethers, or they also work on projects. Like last year we had a cross-club collaboration on the, a cross-club collaboration on the European elections, for instance. So pretty amazing, I'd say.
That's great. So basically being the voice of the youth, right?
Pretty much, pretty much. But also we've mentioned these 2 teams.
Yeah.
Claudia, could you tell us more about those?
Yes. So you've already heard about the FAN committee that was mentioned several times, and you will hear about them much more and actually shortly because they will come up on stage right after us. But Philip and I, and these 4 people standing here with us, are part of the Forum Alpbach Network board. So you have Jenny and Maria that you have already seen on stage, but then also Andy and Flo, and 2 other people, Dorothea and Felix, that you can see on the screen, and that will be join us later, so you can also meet them.
Sounds pretty cool. And what does the Forum Alpbach Network board do?
Well, if you want to know more about it, and this was not enough, then definitely reach out to us. We will be around for the next 2 weeks. Also, most probably at 1 a.m. at the vegetarian sausage stand. So we are really approachable. And you can definitely also join us for 2 info sessions, one on the 22nd and the second one on the 29th, from 1:30 to 2:30 at the fan base. And yeah, I would definitely also recommend you to follow us on Instagram if you have your account, because we'll be posting so much during the forum, but also, as Philip already said, after the forum as well.
Definitely recommend that. It's really nice to see what the entire network is up to throughout the year. And I think as some Alpbach veterans, we also owe you some tips, as other people have already given you, for how to make the best out of Alpbach. I'll pass it on to Flo.
Yeah. Having been to Alpbach 5 times already, and the first time when I was only 19, it is quite overwhelming coming here into this tiny little village with so many people around. So I have some recommendations to you and some things you can take with you for the coming 2 weeks, which is be bold. We have 500 amazing people here, and you are the critical young thinkers of the next 2 weeks. In your seminars, in the events you're participating in the panels, be the critical minds and ask the tough and hard questions. And this also leads me to my second point, which is be spontaneous. This is what IFA is really about. If you see somebody crazy, exciting on stage, and you were like, this thing that this person mentioned is so interesting, let's talk about it, I don't know, at a coffee, or maybe organize some rounds with a few scholarship holders. They're really happy to engage and meet you. So really be bold, ask them, and organize. And the third part is quite easy, be awesome. You're 500 unique people here in this room. You're all come here with crazy backgrounds, coming from different disciplines, countries. Really enjoy the company of each and every one of you. You have 2 weeks for 500 people. Good luck. And also, we have a lot of people here who have been here already. We already talked about the Forum Alpbach network, and we have over 30 clubs who are active. So I would kindly ask all the board members of our network to quickly stand up. And give a huge applause to all the board members, please. These are the awesome people who came here, who liked it and came back, and put a lot of work into it to make this event and this conference what it's going to be, hopefully super exciting. My last point is take care of each other and of yourself. These 2 weeks can be quite intense, and Alpbach is also quite famous or infamous for the FOMO that is happening here, the fear of missing out, because so many great things are happening at the same time. That's why I want to give you a new term to take with you for the next 2 weeks, which is the joy of missing out. So really take the advices of the spa party and take some time off, go for a hike, leave out a night at the Wurst stand and relax a bit because you want to have a great experience, make the great experience out of it. And yeah, Alpbach is what you make of it. Enjoy the next 2 weeks. And now I have the pleasure to ask the other team on stage, the Forum Alpbach committee. Yeah, see you around.
Good evening, change makers. How are you? Are you excited? How was your trips? I'm Vivian Ogu, and we are the Forum Alpbach Network Committee. As they said, we are FUNC. And well, not long ago, we were sitting out there, being our first time here at Alpbach, and we were unaware of the impact that this forum will have on us and the friends that we would like to take with us for life. And composed of friends, we are the committee in charge of planning and coordinating the social events and also the side events organized by the clubs that Emina will explain you more about.
First, I want to thank you, my friend Vivi, for such inspiring words. Vivian is such an inspiring personality, as you have the occasion to see many times during the forum. And now I actually want to tell you as a message from the Forum Alpbach Network Committee. Well, Alpbach is a life-changing experience. It's something that happens once in a critical point in your life and that you want it to happen again and again every single year while you can. We want you to make most of it. And for this reason, we have created such diverse content for you, which would actually allow you to mingle together, to meet each other, and to develop certain skills. So, when we're talking about our program, we want to introduce the Road to Alpbach digital exhibition. I think many of you know what Road to Alpbach project is because you participated in it. You've sent us your photos from your native countries about your way and road to Alpbach. They will be exhibited in Schulhäusl from 19th to 24th of August. Next up, we have the movie night. The 21st of August, we have International Evening, which is an event that scholarship holders look forward to the most. It's an event where you will realize that even though this room contains 60 nationalities, you will come out of this room realizing that you have something in common with every single person. And we kindly invite you to join all of our events. Next up is Mission Unaccomplished, then the Festkuchen Party, the International Bazaar, where you will have the chance to actually taste the differences coming from different countries. Then we have the Youth Assembly and the Strangers on a Gondola. When we're talking about the sports program, we have volleyball and football tournaments and dance workshops. Thank you from my side.
Hi, I'm Felix, and the Fancy is also operating the fan base. So it's basically a place, it's 2 classrooms in the Volksschule, the elementary school of Alpbach. And in the second week, so starting next Saturday, there will be fireside chats, but also coffee machines, microwaves where you can prepare your meals in between sessions. So yeah, basically it's an open space where you're always welcome, and it's also a non-alcoholic place.
Thank you, Felix. Okay, so here's the deal. During these 2 weeks, you will have to scan a lot of things. But if you absolutely have to do just one, this is the one. One of the most important QR codes we created for you. This is a chat. This is a link for WhatsApp group chat where you will find all the updates about everything that is happening during the forum. We will also send you the morning briefings every day, every morning actually. And also you can have a chance to ask questions or answer someone else's questions and inquiries. Just one thing we should all consider is to respect each other and respect each other's opinions and be mindful of the code of conduct of the forum. Thank you.
Thank you, Shalva. So this is Jager. I'm also part of the Fancy, and we have prepared a brochure for you. I know lots of information have been delivered just to you now, and it's hard to keep track on all the contacts, all the information, everything. So we have written them everything here, and you can scan this QR code again, or we will put it in the WhatsApp chat directly after this. And yeah, it has all the questions, and if your questions or important information are not answered there, you know where to reach.
Hi, so I'm Marina, and last but not least, I want to talk about a very special event that we have that's going to be a big opportunity for US scholarship holders to get on the stage and talk and speak some truth, which is the Speakers Night. This is our speech contest that has been organized by Club Alpbach Styria for many, many years, so they're really pros at this. And you have a 3-minute, woo! Yeah, thank you to them that they always manage this event. And you're gonna have a 3-minute speaking time for this year's theme, which is, since we're talking about the moment of truth, we have truth or dare. So start thinking about some ideas. Your deadline to apply is the 22nd of August. The event takes place on the 25th. So your deadline is on Thursday, and then the event is on Sunday. Obviously, because it's a competition, you're gonna have a jury and you're gonna have prizes. But most importantly, I really encourage you to apply to really, share your views, share your opinions, even if you're, a little reluctant to speak on stage. It's exactly to those people that I'm talking to. Please come ahead and share your ideas with us. As a former participant, actually, of the Speakers Night, I can assure you that it's a great experience. And then you can also find out more on yet another QR code. We're going to also share that information on our chat, so don't worry, you're going to have all the data that you need. But I really, really encourage you to participate, and I look forward to listening to your speeches. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Forum Alpbach Network Board and Committee, for introducing these opportunities to everyone. And now all is left to say
is our names.
Because we forgot in the beginning. So sorry about that. I'm Nadine, and this is Melissa.
Yeah, Melissa, I'm responsible for the scholarship program.
And I'm responsible for the seminars.
Yes, and you can always approach.
But now that we've come to the end of this event, I want to say thank you to you all. Thank you for coming. And we're really looking forward to spending the next 2 weeks with you. And we hope you have a wonderful and unforgettable experience here. Thank you. We now want to invite all of you down to the soccer field. If you want to have some drinks and snacks, you can follow the people in the purple vests, and they'll guide you down there. So.
And you should all receive your vouchers by entering this hall. So bring them with you, and everything is fine.